Hi, hello, good evening, and good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Strat Chat, and we are reviewing episode 4 of Big Brother Reindeer Games. You obviously know we have been covering this with our pod besties, who all gonna be there, and they are not gonna be there tonight because we're just keeping the Strat Chat only tonight. No one discussed doing this stream, a little bit of a pop up, a little bit of a surprise, but we're keeping it purple. Much to my delight. Uh,
Yes.
I'm used to saying chagrin, but I'm
Eh,
not upset about it because she loves the purple. She loves the purple.
It's a great
Um,
color.
yeah. So unfortunately, if you've been following the draft, Strat Chat lost another. We lost another. We'll be
this one
getting into
hurts.
all
This
of
one
it.
hurts. This one
From the
hurts.
naughty or nice advantage / disadvantage to the Jingle Bell Brawl to Santa Showdown. We got it all. So let's get into it. I am in keeping with the incestuous nature of the evening. I am Kyle Petty Dunphy Hale, and I am here as always with my festy besties, John Dunphy Hale and Gina Morgino Martinez, who is, obviously mourning the deceased. This is
Many
Strat
times.
Chat.
How many times do I have to come on here live directly after I watch Josh get eliminated from a show I wanted him to win? How many times? How many times are we gonna do this to me?
So many times, but honestly, I'm going to challenge you back and say this might be the first time you stood behind your man. Usually, when he goes out, you change your name immediately.
I don't think I did last during the challenge. I kept it. Listen. I know I kept it. At least that elimination. I know I kept it.
Maybe the first time. There definitely was a time that we challenged you back. We're like, "Oh, you dropped your man immediately. What happened? What happened, Gina?" Like we
I do not
definitely had that
recall.
conversation.
I
Of
do
course,
not
you don't recall
recall.
because that doesn't paint you in the best light. Any Hoosiers, you can go check all those recaps at Strat Chat Pod. You can find us on the socials at that same handle, as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts, in case you don't enjoy looking at us.
Wow.
yeah, we're cracked tonight because I got Liz's Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh, sure.
I'm ready for my mouthful. Here it comes.
There we go. Bottoms up.
Also, I appreciate
Hell
the
yeah.
support of the chat that are all giving me their condolences in my time of mourning.
They
I
are.
appreciate you all.
At least you got some good support. You got some good support. So where do we start with this sucker? Obviously the last time we were all with you, we saw Danielle, leave Santa's lodge. She didn't leave the BB house, right? Still Santa's lair, right?
Santa's lair.
And from there, that is how we were left now with 6, right? 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the math correctly.
Yep.
The math.
What did you think going into tonight?
John.
It's not even
play, or should I wait?
No, it's not even in here. I haven't added the what's the math.
It's not in the BBRG brand folder.
It's an oversight on my part.
The people want to know what the hell is going on.
I don't have one. I'm sorry.
You can get one at the Dollar Tree for $1 and 25 cents. Right.
I'll have one on Thursday.
Now, Liz, she really, really encouraged me to get this hat. Right? She's like, "What are we gonna wear for Reindeer Games?" It's like, "Girl, I don't know. I gotta find some purple." So I went on the Amazon. I said, "The purple Santa hat," and this sucker popped up for $9.99 with tax $10.85. Shipping free because we love the Amazon Prime. And it was here immediately. But I was still deferring to that awful holiday headband that never did us right. never did us right.
I never know once.
Liz says she got the reindeer antlers. I didn't see a picture. I saw nothing. As far as I'm concerned,
No proof. No proof.
this is a holiday. A holiday. Damn. What's a native word for H? A holiday hoorah. A holiday hoo boo.
A holiday hang up.
Oh! It is.
He loves
Photo
it.
proof, or you're not here for the holidays. So, any Hoosers, this naughty or nice thing came up first, right? We never really know how good of an advantage this is actually going to be, because you don't really know what you're stepping into when you win this. Now, this one looked a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
First of all, who is Jill Frost?
An icon, pop star, singing sensation.
Yeah, well, we didn't know that until she descended from the steps. But before that, is Jill Jack's girlfriend, wife?
I think that was the implication, was that she is the mistress of one Jack Frost.
Okay, because the mistress, well, that also sends a different message, right? Like, are you tied down, or you are like a holiday hoe? We don't really know. The way that she presented herself, she's a hoe. All right, the holiday hoe down. And here comes Jill singing her best.
I guess, is Jill Frost on the level of like Mon Juan now?
No, because Jill Frost herself didn't contain any power. Mon Juan did.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Mon Juan may have just been a purse, but it was a game-changing power. Well, Jill Frost, stop. We are done with defeat. We're done with defeat on Mondays. Matt Buffin said Jill Frost had nice feet. We're tired of the feet conversation. We did that at 8 o'clock for Survivor with D. And I guess other feet came at the conversation. We don't really want to do. We're not doing feet. We're not doing feet on the Strat Chat.
Oh God.
So people had to figure out which reindeer was responsible for kidnapping, taking Jill Frost. Really not a holiday fun.
It was okay, this competition. I still think it was better than a lot of the games we've gotten on recent regular seasons. I don't know. It was fun. It was fun. I felt like it was very, very quick. This one though, went very quick to me. Some of the other ones felt like they lasted longer.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a victim of the fact that we've had our first hour-long episode, right? Everything else before this was 90 minutes, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I think the first 3 were all 90 minutes, right?
Yeah, at least the first 2. I don't remember what Thursday was. But yeah, we've had longer episodes, so maybe that's why we kind of had a shorter, because we definitely should not have been dwelling on that whole clingy thing for as long as we were.
Oh, sure.
Like that felt extended. But okay. So who won this? This was
Frankie.
Why one of these reindeers have to be named stupid? They're not nice. That's messed up.
I saw on Twitter you did not enjoy that.
Because they all had silly little names. The one was just stupid.
Well, it seemed like they were trying to sort of be like rhymes of the real names, like Slasher is Dasher, Stupid is Cupid, Donner and Connor, Blitzen and Nixon.
Oh,
I actually didn't
catch that at all. Nope.
Yeah.
I was like, they got all these cute little names, and this one's just stupid.
Well, what else do you do with Cupid? When you think of it from that side, it's like
I didn't notice that at the time.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either, but now I stand behind it. But I also didn't think it was rude. I was fine with it. I actually really like these challenges.
I do too.
Yeah.
Where, you're just kind of running around the house, figuring different things out. Whoever rings in is obviously the first one now to submit their answer. And we talk so much about having equitable comps, and this is one of those that could totally change everything. When I think of Cliff Hogg from, what was that, BB21?
Oh Lord. Yeah.
And it's that's someone who could win this. And totally change the shape of the game. Like, forget this 2-week long game, which is not even 2 weeks in their world. Like, can you imagine how different it would be if somebody won HOH based on a competition like this, which was actually not boring to watch? Like,
right.
This is also one of the ones that you could like kind of play along with.
Right.
It's like, what is it? What am I seeing? Like, show me more, especially if you spent a full hour on that one competition, right? We whatever pre-chatter, the competition, and then post-chatter. I could totally play along with something like this. Yeah.
Would you be interested in them, like, because obviously it makes sense having the naughty or nice competition, right? Mm-hmm. Would you be interested in them sort of incorporating this type of thing into a regular season where it's like an advantage or disadvantage challenge or something? And it's like, maybe whoever wins gets to have an advantage in the next HOH and give someone else a disadvantage in the next HOH or something along those lines, like, would you be interested in something like that?
No, I would be more interested in seeing something like this in a have not kind of a situation. Like, bring back the have nots, and like let me see somebody like a Kathy struggling. Let me see somebody not pulling their weight to cause fights in the competitions that we normally see.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say a hard no. I wouldn't be opposed to what you're saying, but I imagine a better version or a different
I would prefer something like that to when we've seen any of these like BB Bucks competitions, like that kind of stuff. I would like forego that to have like a competition that is like some kind of an advantage or effect on the week ahead, as opposed to like just HOH veto, what have you.
Yeah, something immediate. Something like, if they win this, it affects this week. Not like, oh, hopefully they use it later if they don't get evicted. Like, no.
Right.
Put everything into the same week, whatever advantages, disadvantages, it's happening now. Immediate fruits of the seeds we've laid.
Silly boy. Silly boy.
So there's that. Frankie won. No shock. It's kind of been the trend this season.
They did try to like bait and switch you though. They were like, no, Josh totally has this in the back.
Except in the edit, they showed Frankie ringing
go
the bell.
first. Yeah.
Right. But then also, you're also sitting there, they're like, did they ring in the order in which it's being presented to me, or have you lied? Like, you still don't really know what to do with it. Right. But unfortunately, they were correct. They presented it to us as it did occur, and Frankie got the naughty or nice advantage, and that allowed him to now pick his Jingle Brawl bestie, which I lived for. All this alliteration, all this cheese, like, this is so perfect in my.
And you do love a bestie in the Big Brother world.
Oh, of course. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. That's why I still carry on with Festy Bestie, even though that was literally, at this point, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
I'll never drop it. That's what we do here. But so Frankie got to choose his Jingle Brawl bestie, who he was going to now play the Jingle Bell Brawl with, because it was going to be played in duos, and also issue a disadvantage in the game, in the middle of the challenge. What did you think of that?
I love that.
Yeah, the freeze, the 45-second freeze. That was wild.
Like, I do like that there is variety, and like sometimes you have to pick the person first, sometimes you get to do it during the competition, but I think it's more influential in this situation because when you do it before the competition, you don't always know what the competition is going to be before you select the person who's being disadvantaged, and B, like, because these are equitable competitions, you don't know who is going to be doing well even when you do see what the competition is. So being able to like wait it out, see how it's shaking out, and then be like, okay, well, these are the front runners, so now they have to get the disadvantage. So much more fun.
Yeah. I still lean on the sides. I like the twist, but I still wish I knew that ahead of time. I wish you told me what it was beforehand. I'm starting to feel a little bit like this, like as I feel up Pandora's box. Like,
I don't know if I know what you mean by that.
Is production interfering like a little bit? Like I don't want anyone to get a leg up. I want to know what it was before you issued the advantage to make sure this wasn't an advantage handed to the person that's there.
You mean so like even before they play the Naughty or Nice competition, know what they're playing for?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. I want it ahead of time because what do I know about what's going on here? Like, oh, so Frankie won. Let's make sure it's this challenge.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just want to make sure there's no interference here. That's all. It feels a little tricky.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's what it was here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about it because then, like, do they not want people like if they know if all the competitors know that like whoever wins they're gonna get to pick their partner, do they not want them to know that so the decisions are like more like there's less time to figure things out, it's a little more chaotic?
No, I don't want them to know. I want to know as the viewer. So like when I compare it to Big Brother Australia, Big Brother or the narrator, which would be Sonia, right? She kind of tells us what to expect from each little twist that's coming. I just wish that we knew in this situation as well. It would just make me feel like there could be less shenanigans. I also understand that maybe the narration could be happening after the fact.
And that's what I was going to say.
Right. It doesn't necessarily mean that it isn't, but I would just feel better about
it. Because it's not a live season, that would be so easy to do in post and be like, yeah, no, the plan was always this competition. So let's see what happens.
I hear that, but I just feel better about it because like, at least you address it head on. So it's an issue. I'm looking. And address it, but that's all right. So we were going to see how that was going to play out later. So the Jingle Brawl besties had to be decided by everyone else. So Frankie chose Taylor. Did you have a thought about that before we move on?
I think it made sense because I feel like Frankie's, his biggest allies, as he said, were Brittany and Nicole. So you're thinking like let's spread it out because if I'm with Nicole or Brittany and we lose, that means that we're neither one of us is going to have any power. I feel like it kind of like spreads out your alliance's power a little bit. So
I think it's kind of showing how smart Frankie is in this game. Like even not in a normal Big Brother season, he's making really good decisions like socially. Like he's understanding the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
I wish he was on our draft team.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be nice.
He's making good choices. So obviously, Xavier and Josh were really lobbying pretty hard to not be on the same team. They wanted to have boy-girl teams. The girls didn't seem too enthused by this. Except that I kind of thought it made sense for them too. Like I actually didn't think that was a bad thing for them.
Right, when you don't know what the competition is going to be, so you don't know if it's going to be a particularly like physical one, why would two small women want to go against two muscular, large competition threats who have proven they can win competitions left, right, and center? Like right. I don't know why they weren't thinking ahead of like, let me give myself the best option to win.
Right. Well, I think at this point too, they still weren't sure like how it was going to work. Like I wonder because everybody was wondering like, oh, is it going to be the losing team? Those two go into the Santa Showdown and they have to play against each other. And then we found out it wasn't that at all. So I feel like they were preparing for something that they thought was going to happen that never panned out anyway. I don't know.
But if that's what they also assumed was going to happen, and you're also potentially putting yourself at a disadvantage going against the two guys, wouldn't you then even more so want to split yourselves up? If you think that it's just the losing team goes in, like you don't want to go against each other.
Well, I guess they're thinking though that like if they can work together well and beat Xavier and Josh, now they're totally safe, and Josh and Xavier have to go in and face each other. I guess
it feels like so much of a crapshoot.
I mean, we've also been talking, they've all been in there playing these games. And we've been talking about how equitable they've been. So, like, if you feel like the comps are pretty equitable and you're thinking, if we win this thing, we can send 2 boys in against each other. That makes sense to me.
Kyle?
No, I agree with both. And that's why I was just enjoying the conversation. Because I don't know what's better. It's so hard to like say, oh, I'm super, super on this one side because I really don't know. I don't know what I'm up against. And that's where I think that the advantage comes from being able to decide where the disadvantage is decided. You know, because they're having to make these game decisions before they know what's going on, and you're making your disadvantage decision in the moment.
After you have the information, all the information,
Right. You have everything in front of you, and you're saying, okay, this person should be disadvantaged. And it's like, well, when they made these teams, they didn't even know what they were talking about. So like it's
because
almost
also,
an extra advantage.
Not even just for that, like they didn't know all of the logistics going in, but before they played the competition, when Derek was reading the rules, he said the winning team will have the ability to choose who goes into Santa's Showdown. More info on that later. So you knew even before the competition started, it's not just the losing team automatically goes in. You know the winning team has a say. Right. So like you really go in with all the information.
I also loved how like the disadvantage could be given out like when the people that had the advantage like decided. Like it was nice that like it wasn't just like, oh, you have to freeze for 45 seconds and you're just going to start right at the beginning. It was good to me that like everyone got to get going and like Xavier and Nicole were feeling pretty good about the game, and then it was just like at a random time Frankie was like, all right, freeze. Like I'm glad it wasn't just like the first 45 seconds you have to just stand there, because then you could still have the chance to kind of like look at the pieces and like maybe try to come up with a little bit of a strategy. Like you can't like move any pieces, but like the fact that like Xavier and Nicole had a bunch of pieces up there not knowing if they were actually right or not, and now they just have to freeze. It's like everything's kind of more scrambled, you know, like.
Yes, and I guess socially it puts you in a different position because you can still defend that later on. You can say, listen, I didn't know what was going on. I just saw you were doing better than me, so I froze you.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, like who can really be mad at that, right? To bring it back to Uno, you're down to one card. Of course I gave you a draw 4.
Right.
Just makes good sense. Makes good sense. Sorry, this computer is like touchscreen, and like you press one thing, and like everything moves. Oh my gosh, it's changed where the monitor was. So any Hoosers. This challenge was basically assembling all the presents in the sleigh, but the presents were all connected, and it was like a puzzle. We've definitely seen things like this in Big Brother. This was super, super fun. I don't know who made the comment. It might have been Frankie who said that he was a little surprised how heavy some of these things were to move. This was a super fun one to watch because as a viewer, you really don't know how this one is going to go. Right. You can't play along. You don't know what's going on. Obviously, Xavier and Nicole were frozen, which also kind of surprised me that was a selection. These matchups were interesting because having Frankie and Taylor together really created some interesting social situations, obviously, from what we saw later on, because there was that conversation between Taylor and the rest of the ladies in the house. So we all have to stick together, right? We're going to do this women thing. And like, Nicole, since when do you ever want to do women's?
Oh my God.
Like this woman will just do whatever serves her in the moment. And like one could argue that makes her a good player.
The epitome of not a girl's girl. Like,
right, exactly. Exactly. That's actually why it was cringy, is because you've never done this. So like all of a sudden,
just like, last episode she didn't do it. Like
right. And it's like she is so.
I just even the way that like I felt like even the way Nicole was like talking about it, like it didn't sound natural at all. It didn't sound genuine. Like she was just like,
she says whatever she needs to just to keep going.
Right, because like the way she was saying it, she was like, and you shouldn't put in me and Brittany because women. It's the women. It's like you don't even mean what you're saying, Nicole. You just don't want to go in.
No, she doesn't mean it at all. She's just like the worst. What are we gonna do if she wins?
If undrafted Nicole Franzel wins this competition, I'm gonna be so freaking mad.
The only reason I wouldn't be mad is that because
she's undrafted.
Didn't pick her. Right? Like at least that. If I have to lose, like I hate that that's what this draft has brought us to. I'm over here rooting against people I like. I'm rooting for people I don't like. I don't know about drafting anymore.
Hey, listen, we've seen Taylor overcome some big odds in the past. She's our last draft pick in there. And I'm telling you, if she just makes it through this next episode and makes it to the final four, that might totally change everything up. You never know. So
I think she will make it to the end. I just hate our draft picture right now. I hate that we've been
sad.
I'm sad too. I'm very sad. And I think it's ridiculous. They have all these people out. Like I just what the hell happened here? What happened? I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay. Listen, we couldn't have known, We made the picks we thought we had to.
What were you gonna say, Gina?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna say something, but maybe I was. I don't remember.
I thought I saw you go, and then nothing. All right. So, Taylor and Frankie decide to freeze Xavier and Nicole. Fine. Like, whatever to that. Who won?
Frankie and Taylor.
Right. Because Frankie and Taylor won, and then they had to now choose the two people that were going into Santa's showdown. And that was the other twist, right? They had to choose who they were selecting from each duo to go home. And they did so by choosing different colored ornaments. Whoever chose one had to choose one from one team, had to choose one from the other. So Frankie obviously selected Josh, like whatever to that. Taylor was the one. Yeah, Taylor is the one that really, really had a rough go here. Because obviously she's been aligned with Xavier. And she's also aligned with Nicole by way of the Ladies Alliance. So she had a rough go in this moment. She selected Nicole to go into Santa's showdown. Obviously, that decision didn't pan out so great. But if you were Taylor, what do you think you would have done in this situation? Especially because Taylor is one who selected the very first person to go into the showdown. What do you think you would have done?
I think picking Nicole was the best option for her because if she's thinking about, again, it is hard because we got what we wanted this season and all the competitions are equitable, but that also makes it hard to predict where things are going. Right. Because to me, like in a normal season, I would be like, well, yeah, if I can be aligned with like the women, or I can be aligned with two men who have won this game before, yeah, I'm gonna stick with them because I have a better chance of getting farther if I have those numbers than these numbers. I don't know if that holds as much water, though, in a game where those competitions aren't as... I don't know.
Right. Let's not forget that Nicole did win.
Right.
She's a winner, too.
Oh, yeah. I see. It's funny because, like, I wonder how some of this, because we saw earlier in the season, we saw last week that there was a challenge, that the team challenge that Danielle, Taylor, Josh, and who was it, Brittany won? Was it the four of them?
That sounds right.
Taylor,
right.
Yes.
And they had to send people to Santa's showdown, and remember they saved Nicole Franzel over Xavier. And I wonder if the decision that they made at that point was to save Xavier instead, and now Taylor was in a position of having to choose between Xavier and Nicole. Like, I wonder if she was hesitating to burn Xavier twice in such a short time. And I wonder if that played into it at all. But I do also think it's smart for her to keep Xavier because now she's in a rough spot with Frankie, Nicole, and Brittany working all together. And I do think that X is one of the biggest threats in there still. He's won Santa Showdown 3 times. Like he's won competitions, like just as many as Frankie almost.
Other thing too is like her clear number one target is Frankie, and Frankie and Nicole seem to be very closely aligned. So if for no other reason just to take out one of Frankie's numbers, yeah, put Nicole in.
I also think it's a little bit unfair for Taylor because I felt like at least the edit was making us believe that she was catching a little bit more blowback for that whole Nicole saving effort than I think was really due her. Like,
yeah, just because she was the one that said it out loud.
Yes, exactly. She's just the one who said it. Like, there were 4 people who made that decision. Like, you could very easily have been the one person who was outvoted by the other 3.
Right.
And it's like, so Xavier's like, oh, I don't really know what to think about Taylor. And it's like, can you stop it? Stop it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really, really fair. Like,
that's like we just saw recently on the challenge. It seems like it's always, especially in the team ones, right? Like we saw like a team of 6 or 7 that had to nominate one person, and like I think we saw like the one person that didn't want to vote for the rest of the that the rest of the team did. That was the person that TJ called out. They'd be like, "What's your decision?" It was like, "No, it's not my decision." And then as soon as they say the name, everybody's like, "How could you do that?" It's like 7 people made this choice.
They all did it.
Right. And it's like, I'm not saying this out loud. I'm displaying how difficult this is because I absolutely hate saying it, and it wasn't my decision. I'm not hating saying this because I'm having such a hard time coming to this decision. It wasn't my decision. Like, there's such a different way of looking at that. And like, it's such an interesting thing that these edits do for us, because that emotional reaction, what we're looking at as a viewer, is so different from the actual emotion attached to it,
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, it's like, stop it. Stop playing games with me. Quit playing games with my heart. My heart.
Oh, no.
That's what I feel like it is.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you guys feel also about the way that Frankie was just like to Taylor, like, okay, so we're just gonna put in X and Josh, right? Like, didn't even let her like discuss it or give her opinion.
No, this is what we're doing.
It's not up for discussion.
And then like immediately after Taylor makes her decision, Frankie's like, well, I don't know what Taylor's thinking. It's like you didn't even get a chance to let her say what she was thinking.
Right. Of course you don't know what she's thinking because you didn't actually ask her.
Right. Like I thought that was that bugged me.
To know what she's thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. That bugged me though. That really bugged me, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's also typical Frankie. Like, that's why. Yeah, he might win comps and everything, but like this is why people don't like him because like this is how you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie.
So that's who goes into Santa's Showdown. It was Nicole and it was Josh. And this was an endurance competition. Whoever lasts the longest on the candy cane stays. Yeah. Whoever doesn't, grab your gift from under the tree and hit the bricks, basically. Get the hell out of here. Take the first reindeer out.
The first reindeer out.
And after over 1 hour of candy cane cycloning,
candy cane chaos.
There it is. That's much better. After over an hour of candy cane chaos, Nicole was the winner.
It was so
disgusting.
Josh literally had to hold on for like a second.
Yeah. The worst candy cane I've ever tasted.
My God, I'm so upset.
Yeah.
And you could tell the way they ramped like the movement of the candy canes up, like when they did, like it seemed like it started off pretty slow, and then by the end they were getting like thrown around so much that you could tell production was like, this is not going to be, this is not a record-setting, endurance comp here. You guys are going to get thrown off of this thing if it goes even a little bit over an hour.
Get the hell out of here. We want to go home.
Yeah.
There was the one guy in the control room, like, come on, like moving around.
Get the hell out of here, you jerks.
Yeah. It's like the whole crew is like, listen, we spend 24 hours a day here in the summertime. The season finally ended. We want to go home at 5, so get off of these damn candy canes.
To be here for these fucking reindeer games. Get off this cane. It's so funny because it's so true. Shit, man. But yeah, Josh hit the mat first, and like the edit was telling us that all along. It really was. I felt it.
Yeah.
I just, when I saw who was chosen, I was like, maybe the edit lied.
Yeah.
No, and it was also just like the way, like right from the jump of this competition too, everyone kept being like, Nicole is definitely gonna lose. Like Josh has this in the bag, and I was like, well, now that you said that, like as soon as they started, they were like, yeah, for sure, this is Josh's competition, and I was like, stop it, stop saying things like that.
I'm so mad at Josh right now, honestly. Like I'm so mad at him. Yeah, because during the draft, even you weren't taking
I
him.
thought you didn't want me to. I would have taken him immediately. I didn't because I thought you didn't want him.
I don't know why you would think that we wouldn't want him.
I wish that we stuck to what you thought it was, you know, because
I genuinely thought that I was gonna choose Josh, and you were gonna be like, "Of course, and you were gonna get mad at me." So I was like, "Oh, I can't pick Josh."
No, of course I would want the one person on this season that has been in multiple seasons of the challenge. You tell me we're getting a competition-based Big Brother, which tells me we're getting an entire season of global games. Why would I not expect Josh to thrive in this environment? You're out at episode 4.
Like 6. Let's
You
not.
hurt my heart. It doesn't matter.
At least he lasted longer than Cody.
Existed you, Nicole Franzel.
Yeah.
Do I have to say anything more?
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really upset. I feel so let down. I mean, he gave us great television, but what the fuck?
The win that I will take from this is that I will no longer be screaming into the void that I love Josh with people looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Because he won over the fan base in Reindeer Games, and I am thankful for it.
Wow, yeah. That's an interesting view. When you're saying he won over the fan base, like let's scour the socials.
I feel like overwhelmingly positive is what I've seen of people talking about him on this show.
Personally, like as a person and as a character on these shows, but you will still be the Big Brother winner who was sent home in a competition-based show by Nicole Franzel,
who also won. Let's not make it like she's a nobody. I don't like her.
She did win, but let's also if you want to really get granular on Nicole's win. Did Nicole win or did Paul lose?
Yeah, I know. Well, the same could be said about Josh.
Yeah, it could, except that Josh was also on the challenge with like a track record in competitions that was getting increasingly better as he went along. Not the same. Sorry. He let us down. We rode for you.
I'm still proud of him.
You can be proud. You can keep your name the same. But I'm just saying. I feel let down. I feel disappointed. Especially in an arena where, again, you weren't selecting him. And John and I said, what are you doing? Where's Josh? Put him on the team. And this is how he does us. Yeah. Sorry. That's worse than coal in my stocking. That's like a stocking full of reindeer poo.
You know, it is disappointing too, because when you think about like Brittany, right? Who we did almost have. Like it's funny because everyone thought that she was going to be gone at the end of last week because of that hamster wheel. She ends up coming out on top, and Josh, when we needed him to, couldn't come out on top in this one.
He failed us.
Being very mean to Josh right now. This is great.
No, I'm not. I'm not being mean. I've been celebrating him.
Fell off that thing at the same freaking time.
I'm not.
Except
I'm not,
that she didn't, and she's still in it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like I didn't enjoy Josh. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying we did need him to come through, and he didn't. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I still loved him on the show.
That's what I'm saying. And I also, I'll take it a step further. I still wouldn't choose Franzel on my team. I would still choose Josh over her any day because I just really don't like her. He failed me today, but I trust in his success tomorrow. Yeah. How's that? Is that better? Does that make you feel better? I'd rather be one person less than take Nicole Franzel on my team.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
And I did tweet after the episode. I said, thank you, Josh, for helping make Reindeer Games so fun. And now, go out there and win that challenge championship. So,
right.
There's
a future for him. It's just not here. So that's that. Josh is out. For those of you who have been following Reindeer Games and our pod draft battle extraordinaire extravaganza, this is where Strat Chat ends up. We're in the hole. We're in the hole.
We are. We're in a hole. Yeah.
We are rooting for a Taylor win. I don't know if we get it.
I don't think she can be counted out, though. We don't know how the final 4 Reindeer Games are going to go.
The way the socials are going and things like that, I just don't feel like. I mean, she's been very active on Twitter during this, so maybe she does take it. But again, I that one clip when she says we're all just going to Frankie's makes me feel like she doesn't win.
I don't know what that's from. What are you talking about? Like, what clip is that?
There's some. It was a clip of some Instagram story. I don't remember who she was talking to because I don't remember the person. It might have been Bowie Chain. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm just saying. But she was on a story with someone, and she said, "Oh, like whatever, fuck Santa. We're all going to Frankie's." And it was like,
I mean, she and Frankie do seem to be pretty good friends, but
right. It's like, why are you going to Frankie's? Because he won, or because
right.
And that's what
I will say this,
believe, but it's not based on anything other than that.
Right. I will say this too, though. Like, if we get to the final 4 and Taylor's there, even if she didn't win, but she was in the final 2 or something, I think that would still be a successful draft for us in a way.
Sure.
Especially with where we are right now. So
yeah, no, be a successful draft. It's just the stuff on a Monday night when you're just saying we're down 3 and they're up 3. Like that is rough. That's rough.
Definitely, 100%. Mm-hmm. We're in a tough spot with the draft there.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah.
I'm
still
hoping
enjoying
they
this though.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not. I'm more than enjoying this. I'm loving this.
This is honestly better than a regular Big Brother season, as far as I'm concerned. I'm having more fun.
I hate that I agree.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I do. The only thing that I'll say, I've been loving all the Reindeer Games, but it's how like you get to a point in the season where some of your favorites go, and then some of the people that are left, you're just like, whatever, I don't need to watch you anymore. I feel like if you just took Franzel out of here, if Josh had just won, I'd be way more excited about this final 5 than I am.
Yeah, I don't like that we're gonna be hanging up tonight, and there's a possibility that she could still win.
Yeah,
if she was out, even if like she was one of our picks, I would still feel better. I just don't want her to win at all. Although in terms of the draft, wouldn't that be sweet?
Yeah.
You can't talk shit. No one took her. Wouldn't that be Biddy?
Oh God,
Mom says that. Wouldn't that be Biddy? But yeah, so that's that. What do you expect for tomorrow? I think Taylor's going to go to the actual Reindeer Games. I don't think she goes home tomorrow.
I think that Taylor and Xavier know that they're going to need each other, and I think one of them is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be. At this point, I guess you can't do pairs because there's an odd number in there. There's not enough people to do teams, so I'm assuming this last Jingle Bell Brawl will be an individual thing. And if Taylor or Xavier win, they might both be able to get into the final four, but I feel like they're the ones like on the outs right now because it feels like Frankie, Brittany, and
So
Nicole are like the majority. So
yeah, so Taylor is definitely out of the ladies' alliance if there was one. Right, that's over now.
I think it has to be over
Probably.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider that Nicole's not a real girl's girl anyway, and was like using that just to try to get the advantage of like being protected by Taylor. So like we don't really feel like she's genuine in that anyway. And now Taylor didn't save her and send her to Santa Showdown. I feel like Taylor's totally out there. And Frankie wanted Taylor to just do exactly what he wanted, and she went against it. So like he's pissed at her.
Right, and you don't have a full week of game to kind of correct any of that.
Yeah. It would be interesting to me if like Brittany decided, because I know she's working with them, but like if she's not super pissed at Taylor and she's seeing Frankie win all these things, I wonder if you could even see Brittany being like, maybe it's my time to take Frankie out if she gets power. Maybe there's more people working against like Frankie and Franzel than we realize right now. That's all, depending on what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Gina, your final thoughts on the matter?
It's really going to come down to
jingle all the way out.
No, I really do think it's going to come down to who wins this last competition because I can see it honestly going either way. If I had to guess, I feel like Brittany is probably the most on the outs. But
I feel like she's good with Frankie and Nicole.
Like, I don't know. I have to think about it longer.
the way the episode ended, it felt like Taylor and Xavier lost an ally in Josh tonight. And it felt like Frankie, Brittany, and Nicole were the ones that like have the power right now.
I agree with that. But... what I'm saying is if it comes down to any of the three of them, I think Brittany would be the most in danger.
Like if it comes down to Taylor or Xavier won, you think
if it comes down to like Frankie, Brittany, or Nicole, I think Brittany was probably the most in danger.
Right. I just don't know if anyone's like, I don't know if Frankie and Nicole at this point would have to even consider like cutting her though, because I feel like if one of them wins, I'm not saying if one of them
wins. I'm just saying if it comes down to the other three.
I don't know.
Like if one of those three is to leave.
Right. But I mean, like, I don't know, because I feel like if Xavier or Taylor wins, they'd probably want to hit a bigger target than Brittany.
Yes, but I don't.
Like, I could see if Taylor wins, she puts in and she gets to pick Santa Showdown, it would be like Frankie and Nicole.
But I think that Frankie is a stronger competitor.
Right.
I don't think he's in as much danger.
Right. I think Nicole is in danger of being put up because at this point, sure, they got put up. So like what's stopping an Xavier is like, you know what? That bridge is already burnt.
Yeah.
We put you up too. Mm-hmm. But also he can make that argument for Frankie as well. Because Frankie is the one who put him first.
I can definitely see Frankie being put up. I don't see Frankie leaving as easily as the others.
Yeah, I don't see Brittany being in that much danger right now though, because I feel like if Xavier or Taylor win, they would put up Nicole and like Frankie, and if Frankie or Nicole win, they're not going to put up Brittany, they're going to put up Taylor and Xavier. Like I feel like Brittany's like kind of in like this weird spot where like she might be totally fine, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see.
It really could go anyway, honestly.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this, because like we've said so many times before, having these comps being so equitable means that the game can go any direction. And that to me as a viewer is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. When else is Strat Chat being presented to the peoples? Wednesday, we got nothing, right? Wednesday is the Survivor finale. So as a result, we'll be live on Thursday at 9:15, right after the finale of Big Brother Reindeer Games. And that's only because we really just want to get Survivor out of the way, not to disrespect it. We want to give it its shine, and that's why we're doing it a little sooner than we normally would. But we've got Big Brother Reindeer Games and that finale at 10:15 on Thursday Eastern time, and that'll be with our besties from the Who All Gonna Be There podcast. So definitely tune in for that. Hop in the chat, get into the conversation. Any final thoughts for Big Brother Reindeer Games?
That's all
no. Just excited to see who our final four is after tomorrow night.
I'm at least hoping they take another hit before we get to the four. I would love it if they were going in with two, and we just had our one.
And I would prefer it to be Frankie.
I just don't think it's going to be him. He's damn good at this because he understands the social end, and he also is very good in physical competitions. He's a great selection. I think Frankie's going to win. I really do.
You're probably right, but we can hope.
But I like everyone here, so I don't really want anyone to go home. Is the tricky part,
except for Franzel.
Right, because I look at these pictures and I forget she's in it because no one took her. Yeah, if she went home, it'd be great, but I still don't think it. I think it's going to be another guy.
Well, that's either Frankie and Xavier, and if you don't think it's Frankie,
yeah, it does make sense to me that Xavier would go. There's been so much focus on the fact that he won 3 Center Showdown, but no one's talking about all of Frankie's comp wins, which I also think is interesting. Why is no one talking about the success you've had?
Yeah.
Everyone's so hyper focused on Xavier and what he's done. No one's talking about Frankie. Why?
Right.
Because the social element of this Reindeer Games that we didn't expect to be here, he's excelling in.
Right. I wonder. I feel like if
Sheena
Frankie,
hates.
yeah, I feel like if Frankie was to win the next Jingle Bell Brawl and had the power to choose who went to Santa Showdown, and then it's got to be Xavier or Taylor that are going in. I just feel like it's so clear cut now, which whoever wins which side, it's very clear, I think, who they're going to put in. I don't know.
And who do you think wins with Xavier versus Taylor?
It really depends on what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess it depends what it is, but
I agree.
I think it could be a fun matchup, though. I also think Xavier and Frankie would be a fun matchup too. But I feel like that's especially with the whole girls alliance kind of being dead now, there's no way that I feel like they'd team up to do that unless they talked it out and figured it out. I don't know. But that could be a fun matchup, to see who goes into Final Four, and it's Frankie versus Xavier for that last spot to get in. That could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on a lot of things. Because that naughty or nice advantage certainly changes a lot, right? Because that's a certain challenge that is so. I feel like that's the biggest toss-up of the whole thing. And depending on how much of an advantage you get and how much of a disadvantage you're allowed to hand to someone else could really change a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gina is sleepy.
I'm sorry.
Yawning live.
I'm sorry. I just yawned. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
No, I just love to focus on it because I'm definitely ready for bed as well.
So you just throw me under the bus so you can get out of here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're damn right. Matt wants to know, does a Reindeer Games win add to the legacy of a player for you all, or is it kind of whatever since it's a spinoff? That's interesting because this is the first time we've seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Because the only other spinoff we ever got was, so we had obviously Celebrity Big Brother, which didn't see our returning players playing. And we saw Big Brother Over the Top, which also didn't see returnees. I don't know. Now that there's a social element to this, I would have said a few weeks ago, no. Something competition based, I'm absolutely not giving that person any flowers. But there is a social implication to a lot of the decisions you make in Santa's lair.
Right.
So because of that, I don't know. I think it counts for something. It's not a full season win.
Right.
But it's not a...
It definitely does
You're
have
not
a
shooting
little
blanks.
Yeah, and it definitely does have a little bit of everything. Like, it has the physical competitions, like you said, Kyle. It has the social side of it also, and a lot of it, honestly, with strategy. Even with the last Santa Showdown, like, what order do I put these in to make sure the person that I want to leave, goes home? Like, I should put this person a little earlier so they have more time because I'm working with them, and like, it's it does have like all the elements of the game, even though it's so sped up and short.
It definitely carries more weight than I expected it to.
Right. Yeah, I thought this was a throwaway kind of a thing. This is a jingle jangle good time, a holiday hoedown, if you will.
And honestly,
hooray.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I feel like the fact that the cast has been so stacked, like, it helps it too. Like, you're not, Frankie's not in there taking out like all new players or something. Like, these are all how many winners are on this season?
Taking out Glenn.
Right. Like, and how many winners are on this season? How many people that have appeared in other shows now and stuff? Like, these are like all veterans, like, that know what they're doing.
Right.
So I feel like it's impressive, even if it is a short game. Honestly, there's still more than half of what we would get in a normal length Big Brother season. It's like you have to make all these decisions so fast, play all these competitions back to back, and you got to get through eight other people in 6 episodes. You got to figure out how to beat them all. I feel like that's pretty good.
That is, and I think the other interesting thing in here is that, like, when you talk about the social element of this thing, the blowback between putting somebody in, not putting someone in, you don't have as much time to kind of make reparations for certain things. So I made this decision literally yesterday, and you could be in power tomorrow, and I have to make you feel good enough with me to not put me in danger as well, after I may have put you in.
Right.
There's a social end to this because it's a little bit different because we already know how things are going to turn out. We know what that's going to be within 20 minutes. They didn't know that when they made the decisions they made. So socially, there's certainly something to be said for that. That is certainly not to be thrown away. You make a rough decision in a regular season of Big Brother, you have an entire week to fix it. And if they win veto, even less time. You can totally correct that. In this,
and
tricky.
in a regular season of Big Brother, after you put somebody up, or they win and they come back or whatever, like, after that, in a regular season of Big Brother, you guys are just still stuck in a house together, and with nowhere to go. Like, you can talk it out with people, whereas they're competing for the day. Someone just made a decision to send you in. You're pissed off, and now everybody leaves the studio and goes home. Like you don't have as much of an opportunity to, like, even if it is just a day. Like, I made this decision yesterday. Now I have to face the repercussions today. At least you have, like, all night in one of those bedrooms in the house to, like, try to talk it out and fix it.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. Shoot. As you were saying that, I had another point. It's gone now.
Well,
no, I thought it would come back, and it didn't. So, as we move forward, still thinking it might come back to me. We have another episode tomorrow, and then the finale on Thursday. So when are we coming to our friends and family? We will be live on Thursday, as we said before. Survivor 45 finale week. We're going to be here, obviously, with our bestie Mikey. We'll be recapping everything right after Reindeer Games. That'll be at 9:15 Eastern. Can't imagine there's lots to dive into there, right? The game is already decided. We don't have to worry about what somebody's next move is. That next move happened. It was decided. The game is over. So we'll definitely be done in time to recap the finale of Big Brother Reindeer Games at 10:15 Eastern with our pod besties, who are going to be there, and they will be there in full force. Any final thoughts for our friends and family before we get out of here?
That's all I got.
No. Yep, that's it.
All right. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod, and you can find us after the fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to receive said podcasts. We are not going to end this stream before we celebrate Monday in the way that it was intended.
Wait, I didn't hear it. Is that just me, or did you not hear it either?
I didn't hear it either, and I was like, I wasn't gonna say anything about it. I don't know what happened there. Should we give it another go?
It's a dud.
Nope.
It's a dud.
It's not supposed to happen. We did the best we could to give you the Mon Wan.
It's Mon Wan Monday.
Thank you for that. Can you just try playing it from yours? That's not how I want to go out, with a fail.
No, I don't think we can do 3 strikes. I think it's just there's an issue. I must have uploaded the wrong one or something. So,
well, we got to give the people something.
Lido.
At least that works. All right. So thank you all. Again, Strat Chat Pod on all the socials, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Toss us a like, throw us a subscription. We are out of here. All right. Jingle jangle, bitches.